It's 4:37 p.m. You've had a productive day. Emails answered, meetings survived, tasks checked off. You're actually feeling pretty good about yourself. And then it happens. You open the pantry just to see what's there, and suddenly you're 3 cookies deep, scrolling Instagram, wondering why you can't just not do this. The workout you planned? Nope. The side project you swore you'd work on tonight? Also nope. That book you've been meaning to read? Forget about it. Here's the thing. This isn't a character flaw. It's neuroscience. Your willpower doesn't fail at 4 p.m. because you're weak. It fails because you've been burning through mental energy all day. And by late afternoon, your tank is running on fumes. Today, we're diving into why your self-control collapses after 4 p.m., what's actually happening in your brain, and the science-backed solutions that actually work. Chapter 1. The Willpower Myth. Here's what most people think about willpower. It's a personality trait. Either you have it or you don't. Disciplined people just have more of it. This is completely wrong. In the late 1990s, psychologist Roy Baumeister ran a now-famous experiment. He brought hungry students into a room filled with the smell of freshly baked chocolate chip cookies. Group 1 got to eat the cookies. Group 2 had to eat radishes instead, while staring at the cookies. Then both groups were given impossible puzzles to solve. The radish group quit way faster. Not because they were weaker people, because they had already burned through self-control resisting those cookies. Baumeister called this ego depletion. The idea is simple. Willpower isn't just a personality trait. It behaves more like a limited resource that gets fatigued with use. Think of it like a phone battery that drains throughout the day. Every decision you make, every temptation you resist, every impulse you override, it all draws from the same tank. And by 4 p.m., you're running at 15%. This is why you can resist the donuts at the 9 a.m. meeting, but cave to the vending machine at 4:30 p.m. Not because you're weak, because you've been using your willpower all day for 1,000 tiny decisions. Chapter 2. Decision Fatigue. Here's something that blew my mind when I first learned it. Making decisions depletes willpower, even if the decisions are easy. Daniel Kahneman documented this in Thinking, Fast and Slow. One of the most famous examples comes from a study of Israeli judges reviewing parole cases. Researchers found something shocking. The time of day predicted the decision more than the crime. Early morning? Higher chance of getting parole. Right before lunch? Much lower. After lunch? Back up again. Late afternoon? Drops again. The judges weren't consciously being unfair. They were experiencing decision fatigue. Think about your day. What to wear? Decision. What to eat for breakfast? Decision. Which emails to respond to first? Decision. Whether to go to that meeting? Decision. How to phrase that message? Decision. Which task to tackle next? Decision. Even tiny decisions add up. This is why Steve Jobs wore the same outfit every day. Why Obama often wore only gray or blue suits. They were conserving decision-making energy for things that actually mattered. And here's the kicker. You don't feel yourself getting depleted. It's not like your brain sends you a notification. Warning, willpower at 20%. You just suddenly find yourself eating chips you didn't want, buying stuff you don't need, or picking fights you could have avoided. That's decision fatigue, and it's happening to you every single day. Let's get into it. Chapter 3. Why 4 p.m. specifically? So why does everything fall apart around 4 p.m. specifically? 3 reasons. Reason 1. Your brain is low on fuel. Your brain is only about 2% of your body weight, but uses a huge amount of your energy. And willpower is especially demanding because it depends heavily on the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for planning, restraint, and long-term decision-making. By late afternoon, your self-control system is already weaker. Reason 2. The afternoon energy dip is real. For most people, there's a natural energy dip somewhere between 2 p.m. and 4 p.m. Your body temperature drops slightly. Alertness decreases. Focus weakens. This is not laziness, it's biology. Reason 3. Stress accumulates. Picture holding a glass of water. Holding it for 1 minute, easy. 1 hour, your arm starts to ache. A full day, you're in pain. The glass never got heavier, but the longer you hold it, the more it destroys you. That's exactly what happens with daily stress. By late afternoon, you've accumulated hours of micro-stress. Traffic, deadlines, meetings, emails, notifications, difficult coworkers, emotional restraint. Every time you stay professional when you're frustrated, that costs something. Every time you don't say what you really want to say, that costs something. Every time you force yourself to keep going, that costs something. The stress didn't get bigger. You just carried it too long. So by 4 p.m., you're fuel depleted, rhythm dipped, and stress loaded. No wonder you're reaching for cookies instead of carrots. Chapter 4. The Compensation Trap. Here's where it gets worse. When your willpower fails, you don't just make bad choices. You make compensatory bad choices. Psychologists call this licensing. When doing something good gives you permission to do something bad. Went to the gym? Now you deserve that pizza. Had a salad for lunch? Ice cream for dinner is fine. Finished a hard project? Time to scroll TikTok for 90 minutes. But there's a darker version that happens at 4 p.m. Deprivation licensing. You've been good all day. You resisted distractions, stayed focused, made smart choices, kept your emotions under control. And now your brain is screaming, "We've earned a break." This is why the 4 p.m. collapse isn't just about lack of willpower. It's about your brain actively rebelling against all the restraint you've imposed on it. Your brain doesn't want to be controlled forever. By 4 p.m., it's staging a 2. And here's the thing, you can't just guilt yourself out of this pattern. You have to change the system. And that's exactly what the next section is about. Let's talk about what actually works. Chapter 5. What doesn't work? Before we get to solutions, let's talk about what people try that doesn't work. Just push through it. There's a reason a gardener can't yank a seedling upward to make it grow faster. Pull too hard, and you uproot it entirely. The resource is depleted. Forcing it doesn't accelerate growth. It destroys what's left. Use caffeine. Coffee can boost alertness, but it doesn't restore willpower. It's like putting a fresh coat of paint on a broken engine. Watch motivation videos. Inspiration is not the same as restoration. You can feel pumped and still have zero executive function. Guilt yourself into it. Self-criticism does not create discipline. It adds stress to an already depleted system. Tomorrow I'll be better. But without changing the system, tomorrow will be exactly the same. You'll deplete again by 4 p.m. The solution isn't to develop superhuman willpower. It's to redesign your day around your brain's actual limitations. That's the real solution. Let's get into it. 5 solutions that are actually backed by science. Chapter 6. Strategic Energy Management. Most people spend their best mental hours on easy things, emails, scrolling, busy work, and then expect themselves to tackle hard, meaningful work when their brain is running on empty. It's like a bee that keeps slamming into a closed window, exhausting itself, when the open door is right there behind it. The solution isn't to hit harder. It's to stop using the wrong entry point. Match task difficulty to energy availability. Morning. High willpower window. Schedule your hardest, most important work here. Make your biggest decisions before lunch. Do the things that require courage, focus, and discipline early. Afternoon. Moderate willpower window. Better for execution work, meetings, routine tasks, follow-ups, and admin. You can still be productive, but don't rely on heroic discipline. Evening. Low willpower window. After 4 p.m., don't test your willpower. Protect yourself from needing it. Automate everything possible. Remove temptations. Schedule accountability instead of relying on motivation. For example, meal prep Sunday for weeknight dinners. Lay out gym clothes before bed. Schedule evening activities in advance. Don't decide dinner when you're already hungry. Don't fight your biology. Design around it. This is solution number 1. Let's go to number 2. This one surprises a lot of people because it's not about motivation at all. It's about something much more basic. Your blood sugar. Chapter 7. Stabilize your energy. Remember, your brain needs stable energy. But it's not about eating sugar every time you feel tired. It's about avoiding the spike and crash cycle. Protein and fiber lunch keeps your energy stable through the afternoon. Compare that to a lunch made mostly of white bread, pasta, or sugary drinks. That leads to a crash later. Strategic 3 p.m. snack, not random snacking. Planned support. A handful of nuts, an apple with peanut butter, Greek yogurt, boiled eggs, roasted chana, or a protein shake. Hydration matters too. Even mild dehydration can make focus and self-control worse. So if your 4 p.m. self keeps making bad choices, don't just ask, "Why am I so weak?" Ask, "Did I eat enough protein? Did I drink water? Did I crash my blood sugar? Did I set my brain up to fail?" Sometimes the solution to bad discipline is not more discipline. Sometimes it's lunch. Solution 2, done. Number 3 is my personal favorite, and it sounds almost too simple to be real. Chapter 8, Implementation Intentions. This is my favorite because it sounds too simple to work. Implementation intentions are if-then plans created in advance. Instead of relying on willpower in the moment, you outsource the decision to your past self. Psychologist Peter Gallwitzer's research is clear. People are far more likely to follow through with specific if-then plans than vague intentions. "I will work out after work" depends on 5 p.m. you having discipline. If it's 5 p.m. on a weekday, then I put on my gym shoes and go to the gym. Doesn't require a new decision. The decision is already made. You just execute. If it's 4 p.m., then I eat the almonds I packed. If I get home, then my phone goes in the drawer until 7 p.m. If it's 6 p.m. on Tuesday, then I open my laptop at the coffee shop. If I get into bed, then my phone charges outside the room. The key is specificity. Vague intentions require willpower to interpret. Specific plans just require execution. At 4 p.m., your brain does not need more dreams. It needs instructions. Solution 3, locked in. Number 4 is about your environment, and it's more powerful than you think. Chapter 9, Environment Design. Here's a hard truth. Your environment is stronger than your willpower. Research suggests people with high self-control aren't constantly resisting temptation. They structure their lives so they rarely face it in the first place. Home environment. Keep junk food out of the house entirely. You can't eat what isn't there. Put your phone in another room when you get home. Lay out workout clothes the night before. Work environment. Close unnecessary tabs before 4 p.m. Turn off distracting notifications after 3 p.m. Keep healthy snacks at your desk. Remove activation energy. The easier something is, the less willpower it requires. Want to read more? Put the book on your pillow. Want to work out? Keep your gym clothes ready. Want to eat healthy? Pre-cut vegetables in advance. Every bit of friction you remove is willpower you don't have to spend. At 4 p.m., you want the good choice to be the path of least resistance. Solution 4, environment sorted. One more to go, and this last one is the one most people ignore entirely. Rest and recovery. Chapter 10, Rest and Recovery. Here's the part nobody talks about. You can't willpower your way out of a recovery deficit. Sleep matters because self-control depends on executive function. And executive function collapses when you're under-rested. If you only got 5 or 6 hours of sleep, your 4 p.m. willpower may have never properly existed that day. Stress recovery matters too. A 10-minute walk outside, 5 minutes of deep breathing, a 20-minute power nap, a real break without your phone. Scrolling Instagram is usually not recovery. It feels like rest, but your brain is still processing stimulation, comparison, novelty, and emotional triggers. Real rest lowers the load on your nervous system. Fake rest just changes the flavor of stimulation. The paradox is this: resting feels like giving up, but it's actually how you prevent yourself from giving up later. All 5 solutions done. Now let's organize them into a system that you can actually use. Let's look at the willpower hierarchy first. Chapter 11, the willpower hierarchy. Not all willpower challenges are equal. Here's what I call the willpower hierarchy. Tier 1, automatic. No willpower required. Brushing your teeth, your morning routine, habits you've done for years. Tier 2, low willpower. Easy with routine. A pre-planned workout, a meal prep dinner, following a checklist. Tier 3, moderate willpower. Requires real effort. Starting a new project, having a difficult conversation, resisting a tempting distraction. Tier 4, High willpower burns through resources fast, changing a long-standing habit, quitting something addictive, forcing yourself through something you hate. The 4 p.m. rule. Never attempt Tier 3 or Tier 4 tasks after 4 p.m. unless absolutely necessary. Schedule high willpower tasks for high willpower times. It's strategic resource allocation. You now have the full framework. Let's put it all together in the conclusion. This is where it all clicks. Ready? Let's go. Final chapter coming up. Conclusion, putting it all together. Most people don't need more discipline. They need fewer moments where discipline is required. Same person, same brain, completely different system. And here's the final truth about willpower. You can't fight the ocean. The person who tries to punch back every wave gets destroyed. But the person who times it right, who dives through the wave instead of against it, comes out the other side. Your biology is the ocean. It will always win if you fight it head-on. The solution isn't force, it's flow. Match hard tasks to your best energy. Stabilize your food and hydration. Pre-make decisions with if-then plans. Design your environment so good choices are easier. And actually recover before you collapse. Stop fighting your biology. Start designing around it. Next time it's 4 p.m. and you feel yourself reaching for that cookie, your phone, the shortcut, or the excuse, remember, it's not that you're broken. Your system is asking too much from a depleted brain. And now you know how to fix the system. Breathe, think, reset. Thank you so much for watching. If this helped you see your brain a little differently, don't forget to subscribe. There's a lot more coming that you won't want to miss.